Hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive and I'm Meghna Deka. Now viewers, amidst a virus outbreak and chaos which has been unleashed in China, here is a bit of a disturbing news coming in. There have been 3 cases of the HMPV or the human metapneumovirus which has been detected in India as well. Well, this outbreak in China has of course raised health concerns globally as well as specifically in India, because remember, it comes just 5 years after COVID-19 pandemic. And now talking about the cases in India, let's get you the specifics of what has happened. In fact, 3 infants have been tested positive here for the virus in India. 2 of them are from Karnataka and 1 of them is from Gujarat. Well, the centre has assured that we shouldn't panic as it is not a new virus. It is a virus which was in fact discovered in 2001. But it is very important for us to stay alert, so that at times now we are here to tell you all the things that you must know about the HMPV virus and how you can protect yourself and your families. It's a show for a call-in. You, the viewers, can connect with us directly here on Times Now. We are flashing those numbers at the bottom of your screens. So simply pick up your phones and give us a call at those numbers. So now let's tell you a bit about what really is the HMPV virus. In fact, this is a human metapneumovirus, which is a common respiratory virus, which is not a newly discovered virus as we were first telling you. In fact, it has been discovered in 2001 itself. Some of the reports have suggested that it has been in circulation for quite some time, perhaps even all the way back in 1958, but was only discovered in 2001. Now, this causes common cold-like symptoms. It can cause respiratory diseases and it can spread especially in the winter and early spring. In fact, as per the Health Ministry, HMPV is already in circulation in India. It's nothing new that it's already been circulating all across. In fact, there has been no unusual surge. The Health Ministry says no unusual surge which has been reported as of yet. Hence, there is no need to panic. But now let's also tell you about the symptoms that you need to watch out for. The symptoms which include, they seem to be very common in nature. These symptoms are that of nasal congestion, of cough, of fever, of sore throat, and of shortness of breath. Something which is very generic and which is something which is attributed to other forms also of viral diseases. So now the question is going to be, how serious is HMPV? In fact, experts say that the symptoms are very similar to a cold or a flu. Who at most is at risk? That's going to be the next big question for us. Who should be cautious at a time like this? Well, as per report, it affects individuals across all the age groups, from young children as well to the elderly. And those with compromised immune system, they are the ones who must be very careful, because they may be vulnerable to any kind of virus, not just this virus, any kind of virus in the winter months. So what should the countries do? Well, that's the big question. Well, this is something that we've been asking all the experts, and they say that the need is to educate people about it to try and ensure there is reduced in transmission. So reduce transmission by educating people and raising awareness about the virus. How worried should you be? That's the next question. Well, it's not like COVID-19, so you can breathe easy. It's not really like that, because what has been coming around is that it's been there for decades. So you have nothing to panic about, because 90%, as per some experts, 90% of those who suffer from the HMPV virus can be treated at home, and only perhaps 10 of them may have complications which need some kind of hospitalization. So the next question, what should you do? Well, you should practice good cough and sneeze etiquette. Well, that's going to be for first and foremost, and everyone's used to the COVID-19 pandemic. We all remember what it was to ensure hygiene. Experts have been suggesting this all along, and this still remains. In fact, in India, since 3 cases have already been detected, states, union territories, all of them have now gone on high alert. Following 2 cases in Bengaluru, Karnataka's health minister has chaired an emergency meeting as well. Delhi's health minister, Saurabh Bhardwaj, has also directed the health department to make all the arrangements to handle any potential increase in respiratory illnesses. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he is also going to be chairing an emergency meeting on the 8th of January. And West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, she too has said that the government is watching the developments very closely and that the Chief Secretary has already held a meeting to take all necessary steps. So listen in to what Karnataka's Chief Minister and the Health Minister of the state have to say.
It is found in 2 children. Immediately after seeing this, I talked to Mr. Dinesh Gundu Rao, who is in charge of the health department, and he responded quickly, and he took up a meeting with the department, and whatever decision he takes, the government will implement it, and the government will take all precautionary measures.
To any emerging health challenges, there is no reason to worry. We are closely monitoring the situation.
Well, there you just heard the Health Minister, JP Nadda. He's, in fact, the Union Minister, JP Nadda, he's come out and said there is absolutely nothing to worry about. Let me go across to our panelists. Today, joining us, 2 eminent doctors who are going to be taking some of the questions that you, the viewers, can call in and ask them yourselves. We have Dr. Ishwar Gilada, who's joining us, infectious diseases expert and Secretary General of the Organized Medicine Academic Guild. Also, Dr. Rajesh Chawla is joining us, a senior consultant at the Respiratory and Critical Medicine at Indraprastha Hospital in the National Capital. I'm going to be bringing in some of our viewers now to ask the questions directly to the doctors. Let me go across to our viewer, HV Suvarna, viewer calling us from Mumbai. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to you, madam. I am Mr. HV Suvarna, age 75 years. Please tell me how vulnerable I am.
How vulnerable are you?
Doctors explain to me what is the seriousness of the matter.
Dr. Ishwar Gilada, these are the first few questions, everyone. Who are the vulnerable ones here? What precautions to be taken?
First and foremost, this virus is a quite old virus, not even re-emerging virus. It has been in existence. So if you do randomly multiplex PCR of all people who have flu-like syndrome, 5 to 10% will test positive for this virus.
Oh, really?
I don't know why people are going in panic mode. So as if this is a human panic virus. It is not a panic. Actually, it is a flu-like virus, influenza A, influenza B, RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, or Mycoplasma pneumoniae, and this virus. So in that order, they are in presence. There is a saying in our surgery, eyes do not see what the mind does not know. If your mind didn't know this virus, you will not see that. And secondly, because this virus has no prevention, there is no vaccine and no treatment. So therefore, we do not test, because multiplex PCR is very expensive test. It costs 17 to 20,000 rupees. For the influenza, if you do influenza test, within 2-3,000 we can do the test, because there is a treatment available for influenza. There is a prevention available for influenza. But for this, there is no treatment, no prevention. Secondly, it is not a killer. It's not such a big killer.
It's not a big killer, and that's a very important point. That's why here on Times Now, we are holding these shows that we can impart awareness about it. First, it's nothing to worry about. It's already been around for quite some time, at least 2001 since it was discovered. If you are elderly, like any other virus, in case you have any viral fever or any symptoms, treat the symptoms, as has always been the case. There is no separate vaccine. You just need to be careful. And this is not just for this virus. Just be careful generally about hygiene. That will go a long way anyways, isn't it? Let me go across to Nagendra, our viewer calling us from Mandi. Go ahead, Nagendra ji.
गुड इवनिंग मैम एंड डॉक्टर साहब, नमस्कार। मैं हिमाचल प्रदेश के सरकाघाट मंडी से नागेंद्र सिंह नेगी बोल रहा हूँ। सर, हमारी यहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम यह है कि दुनिया भर के टूरिस्ट न्यू ईयर के मनाने के लिए यहाँ पर पहुंच रहे हैं, और देसी विदेशी बहुत सारे तो कफ एंड कोल्ड और जो यहाँ पर जो प्रिकॉशन तो कोई ले नहीं रहा है। तो ऐसे में जो हमारे गेस्ट हाउस हैं या जो हम घरों पे होम स्टे करवाते हैं, तो उसमें हमें कौन कौन सी प्रिकॉशन लेनी चाहिए, और साइन एंड सिम्टम्स जो आपने बताए, वैसे तो बहुत सारे लोग जो नीचे से आते हैं वो सीधे सीधे आकर के यहाँ पर बीमार हो जाते हैं टेम्परेचर वेरिएशन की वजह से ही।
बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात आपने पूछी डॉक्टर चावला, वुड यू लाइक टू रिस्पॉन्ड? व्हाट डू यू डू इफ यू हैव एक्सपोजर टू अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल कमिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड? बिकॉज़ सो फार देयर इज नो स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस व्हिच हैज बिगन, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, इन यूरोप. नथिंग सो फार हियर.
You know, I think it's a very pertinent question and the general response of any common man. You see, now we are in an era where we should take universal precautions. I feel that we need to wash our hands. We need to wear masks whenever there is a lot of cases of flu are also there. You can wear masks. You can prevent yourself. If there are gatherings, and if people are suffering, if you're coming in contact, you can wear mask and stay at little distance if possible. These are the simple things which you must follow, because these are the common mode. This virus spreads by coughing. When a person coughs, the droplets go to the other person. If you are within the distance of that person's, it can grow even from the surfaces. Also, it can transmit.
Right.
And I think wear the mask, wash your hands, and these are the two things which he must follow if he's interacting with a lot of people. And then if it is not required, please don't go to a gathering where you can avoid that, when particularly there is a epidemic is like that in your place. The other thing which I want to say, as Dr. Saab was saying, you know, we keep on seeing this human metapneumovirus, and many a time we just discard it. We don't care about, because it's a very, very mild virus. And this has been created because the large number of patients have been reported in China. And so far it is behaving nicely. There are not many casualties, so people should not panic. But I think it is good to have precautions, general precautions.
Absolutely.
Because COVID also came like that suddenly, and a lot of people started suffering.
That's very good advice. Take your precautions, don't panic. Don't panic. The reason why we have shows like this is that you can hear the doctors themselves tell you that the mortality rates are not high. The hospitalizations also in many of the cases are not high. So just take your precautions, be alert, don't be alarmed. Let me go across to our other viewer. We have Captain Jagdish calling us from Bhubaneswar. Go ahead, Captain sir.
Hello, madam, and hello, doctors. I have got you all are assuring everybody nothing to worry, nothing to worry. But the market has fallen down by 1,200 points on one day. See the panic all over. And we are, Kumbh Mela is coming very soon. So how the government should take action on this?
In fact, Dr. Ishwar Gilada, that's one of the things that even Dr. Chawla was talking about. You have large congregations. This is also one of the seasons where we are going to have one of the largest congregations. What are the precautions that one needs to take? We, of course, can't go by what the market and the volatility it may have been created. Perhaps panic can only be countered with information and education. But yes, he has raised the question about mass gatherings.
Basically, it has also turned out to be a human market paralyzing virus for market. And this is because we create panic by our knee-jerkism. If this virus has been in existence and government is saying the same thing, why you are having emergency meeting? Is there any really emergency? So I think for every small such thing, if we panic and we create emergency meetings and chief ministers and prime minister and health minister, they are preparedness is important. What medical science says, think of the worst and do your best. But this virus is in existence for many years, 50 to 60 years. First case was diagnosed 25 years back. And it is in regular circulation. So therefore, if you have a surveillance, currently you have targeted surveillance because you are targeting those people and checking and finding positive. You do a mass surveillance for the sake of understanding. You do 100 tests of those people which are having flu-like syndrome. And if you get 3 or 10 of them positive, every village, every place, every taluka, every district will have this virus. Right. Why panic? And that's why the simple precautions are taught to us for generations. Namaste. Don't shake hands. You come out, go in the family, you just wash your hands.
Be careful what you touch. Keep washing your hands and mask up. Avoid large gatherings as you would even if you have viral fever. Any other virus also you would avoid large gatherings. The elderly may want to take more precautions. This is just like any other virus. No need to create panic over it. However, you must be aware. Well, that's hopefully what we've managed to do for you here on Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. Thank you all the viewers who have called in, and of course Dr. Ishwar Gilada as well as Dr. Chawla. Thank you so much for clarifying the myths and the rhetoric around this virus. Without a short break, stay tuned.